There are very few people in the history of the University of Wisconsin that have had the same impact as Jim.
He is one of those people that may not speak often, but when he speaks, everyone listens.
The impact that Jim has had on biotechnology in the Madison area, it's hard to overstate.
Of all of the scientists I have had the good fortune to work with over the years, Jim Dahlberg is the most curious, intellectually nimble, and humble that I've ever worked with.
I think that Jim should be considered as the ideal recipient of an award like this.
He had an entrepreneurial mindset from the beginning, so when an odd thing happened in the laboratory, he was immediately thinking about how can this be a useful observation that could be applied to another problem, rather than dismissing it as a failed experiment.
Jim never lost his commitment to an academic research career. He never lost his ethical compass. He never lost his commitment to the highest ideals of a university and all of its missions. And along the way, he said, well, I came up with something that would be useful, and he helped turn it into a company. That to me is an academic entrepreneur. And he demonstrated for everybody to see that it could be done.
Third wave would not have been successful without Jim Dahlberg.
The spirit that Jim brings to being an entrepreneur is one of kind of youthful excitement. He's never lost that quality.
Jim and I went to a meeting. We ended up sitting next to each other like on a flight to Santa Fe, and then we both went to this DOE-sponsored Santa Fe meeting where neither of us really knew anybody else and weren't sure why we were at the meeting. So he was interested in being involved in a startup. The main thing was we developed a technology for identifying and quantifying nucleic acids, and it was more specific than the technologies that existed at the time.
Jim's invention was able to deliver incredible accuracy at low cost. Think about how amazing it is, from insight to how a particular enzyme worked to developing tests to detect human disease. Entrepreneurs require a huge leap of faith that somehow this technology is going to turn into something that could be a business and ultimately benefit people, something that people would want to pay for. And Jim was able to do that.
Yeah, it was a 16-year ride before it actually got acquired, and that was kind of fun.
But Jim has been invaluable to the Board of Trustees of the Morgridge Institute. He knew that the Morgridge Institute had the potential to be something special, but that it needed guidance for a while. He was invaluable at the time we were formed. He was invaluable at the time we went through our transition, and he continues to be invaluable now. And I certainly turn to him for advice and just a sounding board. He continues to be very humble about it. You know, he laughs and he tells me that his advice is worth exactly what I'm paying for it, which is zero. He made my assuming this role infinitely easier than it otherwise would have been.
Society owes a huge debt of gratitude to Jim. The University of Wisconsin does. Our broader Wisconsin community and Madison. Jim is a giver, and he's impacted thousands and thousands of people that he doesn't even know. And we should all be grateful for Jim's contributions.
When I grow up, I want to be like Jim Dahlberg.